Favorite shows at your leisure at KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Got your black. Following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams.
Reason and accountability.
The voice of reason.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is Psych Hacks, Better Living Through Psychology. So the subject of today's short discussion is that value is derived from sacrifice. So let's talk about this in kind of a basic everyday example. So it's a little afternoon. I'm thinking about going to a cafe, getting a cup of coffee. In order to secure that desired good, I have to sacrifice $3 to obtain it. If I don't feel like the coffee is worth the $3, I can keep my $3 and be happy about it. If I believe it's a fair transfer, or even that the coffee is worth more to me than the $3, I'll hand it over gladly. But I can't have the coffee and the $3 at the same time. And on some level, the fact that I'm willing to sacrifice the $3 in the act of the transfer is actually what gives the value of the coffee. It's $3. It's just hypothetical, its value, until I actually put the money on the table for the cashier. Then it's like, oh, this coffee really is worth $3 because I'm paying $3 for it. Okay, so what does this mean? This means that the values, the things that we have, that we value in life, have costs associated with them. That's why they are called values. They're valuable. And sometimes people have to pay a lot in order to secure them. And the simplest, most basic way that people pay for their values is with money. The more complex ways that people pay for their values is through their security, through their freedom, through their time, through their energy, through opportunity. It's that which we choose to sacrifice in order to secure the desired good. So what does this mean? This means that sometimes we're given the opportunity to understand just how much we value our values when we have to make sacrifices in order to secure them or to maintain them. It's very easy to believe certain values. It's quite another thing to have to put money on the table, as it were, or time or opportunity or security or freedom in order to secure them. Oftentimes people then balk at the price. They like the idea of the value, but they aren't often willing to pay the price to secure it, in which case the value is actually hypothetical. If I'm not putting the $3 on the table, on some level that coffee isn't really worth.
Now imagine somebody say, I love you. You mean the world to me. But when the rubber hit the road, they refused to pay the cost. See, it's easy to talk a good game. It's easy to say, I love you. But when it's time for the rubber to hit the road and you have to pay the cost, many people don't want to give up their time. They don't want to give up their peace of mind. Listen to what the man just said and apply it to the question I asked Truemonger when now we've come forward. Truemonger, if you truly love somebody unconditionally, are you willing to sacrifice your peace of mind for a time?
For a time?
Yeah. Hey, I love that. Hey, I love it, boy. Hey, and guess what? The time is indeterminate. It's like an indeterminate sentence when somebody goes to prison and they say, you got life, but really it just says indeterminate. There's no year on it. You don't know when your peace of mind will return. Are you willing to sacrifice that for unconditional love, yes or no?
No. No.
Keep going. Why?
I can care about that person from a distance, but the relationship is going to be a friendship going forward if that's the case.
But what if, let me just say, what if, okay, you said no, but what if in God's divine timing, you would have only been out of peace of mind for 2 weeks or 2 years? If you knew what God's plan was, and this was a 2-year stretch or a 3-year stretch, or maybe even 4, would you say, you know what, I love this person unconditionally, I want this person, I'm just going to be inconvenienced, I'm going to be upset, I'm going to be dissatisfied, I'm going to be angered, frustrated for 2 years? Would you do it if you knew the time?
Yeah, I can see myself doing that.
See, it's the uncertainty that's bothering you. There we go. Come on. Talk to me, Drew.
Yeah. I mean, because life in general is uncertain. You don't know what's going to happen. But that's tough, man. Because, like I said, people want to compare sacrifices and whatnot. I'm like, what are you wasting time comparing it for? Because both people involved may be giving us something to gain something greater. But it's almost like people treat it like a transaction. I don't treat it like a transaction. I'm like, I'm not for instant gratification either. I was taught that at an early age. I can wait for certain things. You know, but everybody's built different. Everybody has a different mindset. Some people may be able to handle that 2 years or however long it may be. It's something, but everybody has a breaking point. It is going to test you to find out what yours is. Now, if that person is consistently bringing chaos, then that's just going to have to be dealt with one way or another.
But do you see what I'm saying? We will take what people are saying, the other, what is that about your comfort zone? About on the other side of your comfort zone is whatever. What's that saying I heard Tony Robbins say it? On the other side of your comfort zone is whatever it is you desire, right? Many people are so afraid of the unknown or afraid of uncertainty. If they feel any amount of dissatisfaction, or as the Buddhists would call it, dukkha, if it goes on for a week, if it goes on for a year, they're gonna be like, "Oh Lord, I can't do this no." Do you understand what I'm saying? It's almost like they don't want to go through anything. They don't want to pay the cost in order to have this lofty thing, which is more valuable than what you paid for it. Ooh.
Yeah, paying the cost has never really bothered me, because for me, a comfort zone might be cool, but you don't get better sitting in there.
Right.
So you're going to have to go over that hill. And you're not going to like everything you see. That's life, period. You're not going to like everything you come across. You're not going to like everybody you come across. But hopefully you survive those situations and become a better person out of it. But you have to go over there. You have to cross that line to find out.
Man. Hey, guess what you just did, True Monk?
Just brought Dallas in the building.
Dallas, Texas is in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me. We just lost Austin. I was getting ready to go to Reggie. Reggie, get back in here from Austin. Texas is all over the board. Call me right now. I want to talk to everybody. 1-800-920-1580. The next caller in the line who's been on the longest, Reverend L, Dallas, Texas. Get in here.
What's going on? You can hear me?
Yep. Would you sacrifice your peace of mind?
Oh man, let me tell you. I'm gonna answer that question. Then I'm gonna take a shot at some people.
Okay.
So I've lost my peace before and I didn't understand what the peace was until I lost it. So I'm not sacrificing my peace anymore because I know how valuable it is to me. So that's my answer to what you just said. But let me go ahead and take a shot at these ladies. And I hate to have to shoot at them, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it real. Women don't want to make that sacrifice. Women don't want to make that sacrifice. They don't.
Now, Andy, come with the organs.
They don't want to make that sacrifice because that sacrifice comes with responsibility. And if a woman is held with that responsibility, then it's going to be some accountability that has to come with it too. And we know through experience that accountability ain't one of their strong suits. So
why would you say?
I'm just saying, when it comes to that sacrifice, if we, men and women, we make a sacrifice, we understand, we take one for the team, the men. We'll go out, check the perimeter, we'll do whatever. We make the sacrifice of breaking our sleep to go check the house, and that's a sacrifice. We don't mind doing that. But it just comes with the territory of being a man.
But wait, Reverend, women will say, we sacrifice our body when we give birth to them kids. We sacrifice our health when we taking care of you. We sacrifice our mental health, our purpose. We sacrifice a lot of things to be under your coverage. Talk to me now. They saying they sacrificing like we sacrificing. What are your thoughts?
The sacrifice is we don't mind taking that loss. See, but the whole thing is we'll go out when we get up and do these things. We'll get up, go work 6 in the morning till 6 in the afternoon. We don't come home, complain, nothing. That's a sacrifice. So when them lights on, that food on the table, you're not looking at it as a sacrifice. You're just looking at it, that's just what a man's supposed to do, which is cool. But that's a responsibility. That's a responsibility that we don't mind bearing. Now I'll tell you this: when it comes to women, let one little thing come wrong, and watch what they'll say. They'll say, "Well, I risked my career. I stopped going to school. I gave these babies to you, and this is what I get." And it might not even be anything that serious, but it's something that they feel that's slighted to them. So again, us men, we'll take the responsibility. We'll take it on the chin and go about how things just are, and we don't complain about it.
So you saying,
not saying that they complain about it, but it'll come back up.
Wait, Reverend, you saying men are conditioned for loss? We conditioned for L's and getting up.
We're conditioned for L's
and getting up off the ground, picking ourselves up and keeping it pushing. Hey, Reverend, guess what you just did, good brother?
I just brought Dallas in the building.
Dallas, Texas is in the building. Ladies, do not allow Reverend to just throw y'all under the bus like that. Get to your phone lines. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Let me get to Kenny Bless, Detroit, Michigan. Get in here. What are your thoughts, my friend?
What up, Zoe? What up, Zoe? What up, Zoe?
Yes, sir. What's your thoughts, good brother? What are your thoughts? What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you not willing to sacrifice? Come on.
It all depends. It all depends. I'm up to the plate. I'm ready to sacrifice whatever. We just have to talk. We have to have open communication. When you're sacrificing, you must have some type of goal set and plan. It's dumb to just go out and just, I'm going to sacrifice my health for indefinitely, and then you catch a heart attack, get cancer because you're stressed out. I think communication is important in that area.
I'm not mad. Go ahead, brother. You got the floor. I'm gonna let you cook.
True had asked the question: if you care about the person you are with, should it be viewed as sacrifice? Absolutely, but it ties into what we were just saying. If it's temporary, it's fine, but I don't think you should sacrifice something indefinitely. You know what I'm saying?
But you don't know if it's indefinite. Or you don't know if it's indefinite, right? You don't know. If you're a work in progress and you're constantly working on yourself, and I mean really doing the work. I don't mean just reading a book. I mean actually applying the work to your life. introspection, mindfulness, actually going in, therapy, spirituality. I mean, really pulling all of this stuff together within yourself. Do you think you're going to be the same person at the beginning of this agreement to sacrifice that you will be when you're continuously growing and evolving? Because I think at some point your person is either going to recognize I'm closer to you because of your growth, or I'm further away from you because of your growth. Now, your growth can either bring y'all together in a tighter bond, or your growth can actually push you guys apart. Either one is divinely planned, divinely orchestrated. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So why are we always looking at the clock when we're in the process? Spiritual work is not like work you get a check for every 2 weeks. Sometimes
I actually believe it's awareness. It's not a clock per se. It's really awareness. You have an open communication. I understand what you're going through. I understand your journey. So I know how you're growing and what your purpose is. So that's absolutely perfect. But when you're blindly going into something, you're not communicating. I don't know what your goals are. So it may look as if you are growing apart because I don't understand what journey you are taking because you're not communicating. And you're fussing, this, that, and the third. We have to have open communication. We got to respect one another. And that comes into that peace. In order for a man to have peace, we need that respect. You got to respect me when you're speaking to me. You got to police your tone, police the way that you say things. You know, just like you give grace to your kids, give grace to people at work.
Wait, Kenny. Somebody would say you asking your woman to walk on eggshells.
Oh, wow.
You said police your tone. Now, if you would have said emotional regulation, then maybe.
Okay, so what's his name? From the voice from the Zo What show. Was it his name? Boba Odin?
You talking about Baba Ogun, who was a guest on my podcast? Yes.
Baba Ogun was talking about it today about being humble, how you speak to your elders. How do you speak to people? You have to have reverence. You have to be respectful. You have to be humble.
Wait, stay right there, Kenny. Kenny, don't leave. You cooking. Kenny's on fire. Detroit is on fire. We got Watts in the building. We got Mountain View, Hawaii. We got Pensacola, Florida. When I come forward, the voice of reason gonna get to these phone lines. I'm so excited right now.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Happy anniversary, KBLA!
KBLA Talk 1580 is now celebrating 3 years of amplifying our voice and uplifting our community. We deeply appreciate your support of this radio station and will always do our level best to earn your support. Here's to many more years of loving and serving our community. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
I know it's gonna happen without you.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007 they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Grown-ups, in between, churning babies. Right about now, it's your boy, you heard, back again. DJ Manny, fresh. Yeah, fresh. Fresh. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, that's my DJ. Go DJ, yeah. With Weezy We, step up to the mic, dude. Do what you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you have here is brought to you courtesy of the young man, Young Carter, and the great man, Manny Fresh. So what I want y'all out there to do for me is say this. Say go DJ, cause that's my DJ. 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 You heard of 101, the hottest under the sun. I come from under the Tommy, bustin' a Tommy. You come from under your garment, your chest and your arm hit. Pow, one to the head. Now you know he did. Now you know I played like a pro in the game. Now better yet, a veteran, a Hall of Fame.
Men tend to sacrifice their happiness for their family, while women tend to sacrifice their family for their happiness.
How about that?
A lot of women think the grass is greener on the other side, only to get out there and see that it's not. Just like Tia
Mowry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I want to reiterate, that's not all women. But I read a book. I want you guys to get this book. This book shocked me. I think it's called The Stories We Tell. Right? I think that's what it's called. The Stories We Tell. I think that's what it's called. I gotta find it. It's a book. And it's a compilation piece of, with a bunch of writers in it. And man, I read something in it, and it just kind of, the story that I read just kind of blew my mind. And I'm a find the book and tell you exactly what it is. I think it's called The Stories We Tell, if I'm not mistaken. But when I find it, I'll tell you what it is and what's mind-blowing about this book. There is a piece in there that's written by, I think, Alice Walker. Oh, my goodness, man. The piece is called The Abortion. And, yes, that's it. That's the book. We Are the Stories We Tell. That's the name of the book. The piece is called, I think it's by Alice Walker. The piece is called The Abortion. And the way the piece is written is a woman basically, and there's a couple of pieces in there, right? There's another piece in there that has the antithesis of this story, because it's from a different generation. And it was this woman who was constantly pining after a man, right? And he didn't care about her. He was a drunkard. He lied about going into the service just to get away from his family. And this woman pined over him and waited for him and wanted him to return to her because that's all they had. She was in a time where the woman was 100% dependent on the man, right? Few stories later, we get to Alice Walker's story. This is in the 80s. This is somewhat of a power couple. Her husband is in politics. She's educated. The other woman wasn't educated. And like I said, the other story was from the 19th century, the turn of the century. So she kind of had to just, be with this guy, because a woman was defined by the man she had. And the man gave her purpose in her life because, she could be at home, she could tend to the kids. But then when we move forward to Alice Walker's story, which takes us into the 80s, the central figure in this story is a woman by the name of Imani. And Imani is basically saying, I'm not doing any of that. I'm not having another baby, because she got pregnant. She was like, I'm having an abortion. I'm not going to sacrifice my body again. I'm not going to sacrifice my freedoms again. Hell, I'm not even really into you. Now, what was interesting was the husband was the opposite of the husband in the previous story. He was loving and caring. He was sharing his emotions. He was listening to her. But she wasn't with any of the domesticity. She was like, I'm not with any of this. Okay? And eventually, in that story, she winds up leaving him, even though he was a good dude. So it wasn't just the fact that she had an abortion. It was the fact that she was saying, all my freedoms and who I am as a woman is not determined by this relationship. And I don't have to be here. She checked out. Right? Heavy book. I want you guys to go get it. We Are the Stories We Tell, the best short stories by American women. And Alice Walker, if I'm not mistaken, the author of The Color Purple, wrote the abortion piece. And when you juxtapose it to the other piece, and I'll find out the name of the other piece and let you guys know when we come forward.
DJ, cause my DJ. Say go DJ, cause my DJ. This is the call. DJ, cause my DJ. Say go DJ, cause my this is Larry. DJ, cause my DJ. This is the call. DJ, cause my DJ.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Maryland leaders are speaking out against the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. Governor Wes Moore, who is black, says he condemns in the strongest possible terms what happened to President Trump. He says this has to be a country that can learn to disagree without turning to political violence. Black Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott also issued a statement on the shooting, saying political violence, gun violence, any violence has absolutely no place in American democracy. The Black Information Network's news anchor Doug Davis is reporting live from the NAACP National Convention in Las Vegas.
Hey, thanks, Amber. At the Mandalay Bay for the NAACP annual convention goes on until the 17th. Just spent some time listening to a panel discussion called Empowering Innovation, Black Voices in Technology. And the networking is phenomenal. Reporting live from the NAACP annual convention, it's Doug Davis. Amber?
Thanks, Doug. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals utilize their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Follow the leader.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader.
If you're not following KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your black. Keep following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
Hi, it's me, Gia Peppers. Tune in to More Than That live on radio this weekend or wherever you get your podcasts. This week, I'm talking to visual artist Reina Noriega about investing in art, the power of the Black creative, and how artists can turn their creativity into capital. This episode of More Than That is brought to you by Buick, combining beauty and technology to deliver luxurious experiences. Buick, exceptional by design.
At the very root of it all, we are storytellers. It's so important for our voices to be heard, not only as Black artists, but as Black curators and as Black collectors and as Black museum and gallery owners.
I love that.
There are now a lot of people of color that are creating events that welcome the community and welcome diversity. But there still are some of these older galleries that have a certain mindset and run a certain way. When we have some stake in making these decisions, we can push for change for more Black women artists. As a culture, that makes us so much stronger.
How do you recommend that people really stand out in this landscape and get their stuff in front of the right investors?
My advice is always to go within first, to figure out who you are, what your purpose is, what your passion is, so that you can speak about those things confidently and passionately, and it will resonate with people. While I was going on my own inner journey, I also started to realize that I needed to do things for me and not for external validation. When I did that, it had a huge impact and people definitely resonated with that.
That's really good.
But I think people have to be really disciplined. They have to be open to learning more skills. They have to be open to putting themselves out there, to networking, making sure people know what it is that you do and what it is that you want to do so that they can recommend you for things. They will hear you, they will champion you, they will celebrate you, and that will make waves.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the TFL.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us and our climate justice campaign partner, LA City Council member Curran D. Price Jr., as we celebrate the grand unveiling of the South LA Greenway, Saturday, August 3rd, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Augustus Hawkins Nature Park, 5790 Compton Avenue in the city of Los Angeles. Join us for a green and healthy festival with free food, planting activities, tree adoptions, nature walking tours, Zumba, yoga, sound baths, and more. It's summer, time to get outside. We look forward to seeing you at the dedication of the South LA Greenway, Saturday, August 3rd, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Augustus Hawkins Nature Park, 5790 Compton Avenue in the city of Los Angeles. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, LA City Council member Curran D. Price Jr. and KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy Valentino.
When I get up all in ya, we can hear the angels calling us. And we can see the sunrise before us. And when I'm in that thing, I make that body sing.
You know what I mean? Hey, hey, like a cop car. Hey,
I make you sing.
throwing the buck in the latest drop. I got stopped by a lady cop. She got me thinking I could date a cop. Cause a uniform pants are so tight.
Today we are talking about complacency in relationships and the slow death that happens when your compromise turns into a sacrifice.
Oh, that's well said. I couldn't have worded better.
Check. It's an accomplishment.
Relationship, so beautiful, but at the same time, such a puzzle to navigate sometimes. Yeah, we've been together for how long now?
2 years and 1 month.
Not yet.
Yes, October 1st.
October 1st, you're right. 2 years and a month. 2 years and a month plus. And how's it been for you on your side? Is it the best relationship ever? You're on camera, by the way.
Actually, yeah, it's been really good.
Better than your exes?
Yes.
Everything?
No.
Tell me about it.
So, what I really...
Man, relationship is a puzzle. Now, when I came forward, and now we've come full circle, I was talking about a particular book that I want you guys to get. It was put together by Wendy Martin. The name of the book is We Are the Stories We Tell, the best short stories by American women since 1945. And there are 2 poems in this particular collection of short stories that I want you guys to juxtapose when you're reading this particular work. The first one is by Grace Polly, and that short story is called An Interest in Life. And basically, this poem or this short story was written in 1959, and it can be found on page 61 in the book. But this story is basically a woman who doesn't really have education. She needs a man, and the man that she has is not a good man. He doesn't care for her. He doesn't regard her, doesn't respect her, treats her like crap, and literally walks out. One of the first lines in this particular story is that he buys her a broom for Christmas. And she's like, a broom? And he's like, yeah, basically get to work. So, and that book, and of course, this is written in 1959. You juxtapose that, and then as the story goes on, you will see her pining over him after he leaves, right? Because women were defined by their men at that time, right? Now, you juxtapose that story with Alice Walker's story, which was written in 1980, and her story is called The Abortion. You had an educated woman, Imani, 1980. You know, well-to-do couple, probably upper middle class, right? Loving husband. But the times have changed. And because the times have changed, she's like, I'm not going to be defined as a woman by, you know, these old archaic ideas and standards. And she not only has the abortion, but she also divorces her husband. And I want you guys to read these stories and in context of what we're talking about tonight, which is compromise and sacrifice. Many people who read the story that I know of felt like Imani was being selfish. But was she? Or was she just in alignment with the times? Very interesting stuff. And we're talking about this tonight on this particular episode of The Voice of Reason. We're talking about sacrifice versus compromise. What are you willing to sacrifice? How important is sacrifice in relationships? Of course, sacrifice is crucial to building trust, demonstrating commitment, and fostering a supportive relationship. However, it should be mutual and not lead to resentment or imbalance. And many times we are always evaluating and judging what our partner is sacrificing versus what we're sacrificing. So it's great stuff. We lost Kenny, who was on the line, so I'm going to go right to Nzinga from Pensacola, Florida. Nzinga, get in here. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hey, good evening, everybody. I think this is a difficult topic, and not as far as comprehension. I think it's difficult because, as you brought up, Mr. Antoine Wilson's reality tunnels. Everybody is different. Everybody's reality tunnel is different when it comes to this, sacrifice and compromise. I think, but also I kind of want to point out, I've observed people don't really respect other people's reality tunnels. As Mr. Anton suggested that we do. And the reason why I mentioned ego is because if you're not really operating in your ego, when somebody expresses something to you, whether a sacrifice, compromise, I think it's easier to receive it when you're not operating in the ego. We don't respect, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people don't respect people's reality tunnels, is because you'll see somebody, as soon as somebody verbalizes, well, this is what I'm going through, or this is what I've sacrificed, before you can say Ambasol, somebody saying, well, what about me? Or what about this? And I think that can, I just think that can be a little frustrating, instead of, I hadn't thought of it from your point of view. And that's for men and women. That's for men and women. I'm not, because I don't know, I don't know every man. I don't know every couple, really. I don't know. I just know the people in my perimeter. And that's why sometimes it's a little bit, I don't want to say aggravating, but I think it's unfair when people, cast this wide net and say every man and every woman, because really you only know the people that pass you on the park bench in your neighborhood. You don't really know everything. Right. And I think that people, and I think people, see Instagram, they see these skits that people do, and it's really to just get a reaction, out of you. But in people's minds, that's real. And I think that's where it becomes really, really, really dangerous.
Right.
And I just don't think that's right. So I just say that if somebody's and I don't want to say complaining, but just voicing their concern or frustration about the things that they sacrifice, the things that they compromise, I don't think when they're doing that is the time for you to say, well, what about me? Because if you've built that up and you're not saying anything, that the accountability kind of falls on you. You have to speak up. That's how I guess that you've been teaching us, that's how you kind of grow in relationships. You have to speak up and you have to, communicate what you're going through. That's all I have to say.
That's fire. I love it. You already know what you did, right?
Yeah, I brought Pensacola in the building. Good night,
Pensacola, Nzinga, I love you, sister. Always calling in, always cooking, giving us that good game. Listen, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We got Watts, we got Sacramento, and we going to Hawaii when we come forward.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Oh, man. Looks like Bobby needs a ride to the airport again.
Grab the keys.
Who's taking Auntie and her friends to the swap meet?
Grab the keys.
How about we drop these boxes off at Miss Johnson?
Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, you're all about getting things done. So do it all in a Chevy SUV. From the versatile Equinox and sporty Blazer to the roomy Traverse, our lineup of SUVs will carry you through every adventure. All you have to do is...
grab the keys.
That's how we do. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse limited models. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr.
publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Linking social justice and climate justice all year long. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
AK on my nightstand, right next to that Bible. But I swear with these 50 shots, I'll shoot it out with 5-0. Pockets getting too fat, no Weight Watch, no lipo. Money talks bullish, walks on a motherfucking tightrope. And I make that tap out. I knock that out cold. And you get beat the crap out. But that's just how the dice roll. These hoes want that hose pipe, so I give all
Ladies and gentlemen, my
my
playlist is my co-host. Hey, guess who be playing music? I do. Man, my playlist be rolling right with me, man. Sometimes we feature artists, sometimes we mix it up, but my playlist rolls with me. My playlist is my co-host. I wanted to feature Lil Wayne, who I feel doesn't get the credit he deserves as an artist. I think he was a transformational artist in the 2000s, late 90s. And when he took the reins as the best guy in the game, in the 2000s at some point, it was him, 50 Cent, Jay-Z. Wayne had an incredible run, and Wayne was an incredible MC who influenced a lot of MCs that are here today. And when you listen to his lyrics, the guy he's a spitter. He's a rhymer. He's dope. He's very dope, and I wanted to give him some love today on The Voice of Reason. Now, we got to get through these callers. Callers, please make it brief, make it quick, make your points. Hit us upside the dome piece. Let's go to Hawaii. John, Mountain View, what are your thoughts on tonight? What are you willing to sacrifice, and what are you not willing to sacrifice? Yeah, he started with you. Come on.
Stop. But anyway, real brief, but it's a story, unfortunately.
Go ahead.
Crabs in the barrel, right?
Yeah.
Crabs would have to make the greatest sacrifice of all for them to just be with each other. The woman has to break her shell to doggone allow the man into her life. Doesn't that sound like relationships right now? Now, reverse that. Because, again, after the babies are born, the man has to stay on the woman's back until her shell comes back. Doesn't that sound like sacrifice?
Keep going. I'm listening. Come on, you're cooking.
But the thing is let's quit calling it sacrifice and call it just service.
How about it?
I'm done.
There, you got the organs too? You got the double up. Hey, guess what you just did, Brother John?
Mountain View's in the house.
You already know. Aloha. Let's keep it rolling. Who's been on the longest? Juliet Watts. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic? What we sacrificing? Huh?
Well, sacrificing to me is different from compromise, and if you got to sacrifice, that's not living in serenity. And it's a difference in control and discipline. I think that's comparable.
Mm-hmm.
It's comparable to sacrifice and compromise. Because compromise means you got to negotiate. That means neither one of you are satisfied.
Ooh, I hear you. But what are you willing to sacrifice? Now, sacrifice, that means it's valuable. What are you willing to give up for unconditional love?
Smoke a cigarette. No, I love y'all.
Hey, I know it ain't an easy question. I know. She said, I'm going to smoke a cigarette on that one.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to line up another mess out anyway.
Hey.
Well, I love y'all. There's so much said that I don't even think I need to go any further, especially with the what's the name?
Nzinga?
Yeah, Zinga, yes. And I showed Miss Mixie from Mississippi. But I love y'all, and peace and hair grease.
Thank you, Juliet from Watts in the building. Watts up. Y'all already know what it is. But, hey, she was right on point. Do you see how tough that question is? It's valuable. Sometimes God wants you to sacrifice what's most precious to you. You think him sacrificing his son wasn't most precious to him? See, that's what I'm saying. Are you the embodiment of the word, or do you just read the word? You good at reading and reading comprehension. You understand what it means. See, real love and real relationship requires real sacrifice. Andy?
I'm sacrificing my happiness.
Ooh.
My temporary happiness, right?
Okay.
We kind of talked about it earlier in the show.
I was going to say, you can't sacrifice your happiness
Yeah. Not all of it, but, if I wanted to sit back and watch the Laker game, but, babe wanted me to go with her to her family's, I'm sorry, Brian, I can't be there to watch you, my guy.
Well, he's going to lose anyway, so you're not missing anything.
All right. Well, if Kobe was still playing,
If Kobe was playing,
I'll be upset.
I would be like, babe, please, you know what this is. This is my church. You're asking me not to watch the holy benediction of the Lakers cathedral. You already know I got to see this.
But if it was Game 7 of the NBA Finals, sorry, babe, love you. But I ain't sacrificing that.
No, but you're right, though. Sometimes we do got to sacrifice that. And I'm just being facetious right now, but you're right. We got Kiona of Sacramento, California. Hopefully I said the name right, because I'd be fumbling at the 2-yard line with the game on the line. Kiona.
You've been fumbling for 6-7 years at this point. And I said I wasn't going to call in tonight, but I'm going to do it anyway. Mm-hmm. So I think that at this point, there's no compromise and there's no sacrifices, whether or not you're willing to relinquish control to actually go on your journey versus sitting here trying to control where you think you're going or where you think you should be. All these people are, like Nzinga said, on the internet. How many Kevin Samuels do we need? How many red pills do we need? How many blue pillars do we need? How many of these other female influencers do we need for people to try to adhere their identities to? You are yourself. You're supposed to be going on your own journey, and you're supposed to be yourself. And if you're actually relinquishing control and believing in God and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you'll be experiencing, and whether or not you and that person are supposed to be together will be revealed. You'll either grow into each other or you'll go out of each other. However, it's a bunch of BS, and people are focused on the wrong stuff, and they need to be being themselves instead of being other people and setting other standards based on what these other people need. We don't need multiple red pills, blue pills, Kevin Samuels. We need the individuals to contribute to what it is that they're supposed to contribute to this world.
You
Period.
are cooking. Guess what you just did?
Yeah. Get on your nerves.
No, you got to say I brought my city in the building, child. Come on. But we love you anyway.
I don't really have a city, though. 1 minute I'm in Seattle, 1 minute I'm in Sacramento, the next minute I'm in
we gonna say You brought Sacktown in the building. Call in anytime. You got a seat at the table. All right, so let me get to it. John Gilbreth, he touched on it, and I scraped it earlier. Service. Sometimes you just got to serve. And I use the Sanskrit concept called seva, which is selfless service unto God. Oftentimes, we want to serve somebody that's perfect. We want to serve somebody that won't hurt us. We want to serve somebody that's going to give us something in return. That's when we're flexible and pliable to the idea of service. But the reality of it is, when you're dealing with a work in progress, you're still going to have to serve, even when the person you are serving may hurt you, may disappoint you, may frustrate you, may let you down. The reason why you can't recover from the letdown is because you don't see them as they are. You see them as they're supposed to be, in relation to your ego, in relation to your wounds. And this is why we can't get over things. We can't get over the humanity in a person. See, Paramahansa Yogananda says it this way: your entire motive must be service. The main purpose of any business should be service. It should not be merely money making. The store that gives the best service and handles the best products is the one we like. Do you see? But this also plays a role in spirituality. We've got to serve each other even when the person we're serving is at their lowest point. See, if you had the vision of God, right, and it looked like spiritual GPS, you could see where the red is that indicates the heavy traffic. But you could also see the blue where it indicates the free flow of traffic. Many times when we're in the red in our lives, we can't wait to get out of it. And oftentimes we'll do what most people do. If you don't have the GPS, you might hop off the freeway and take the streets. But sometimes when taking the streets, especially in LA, you might encounter even more traffic. Do you see? Sometimes you just got to go through what is necessary to go through. Listen, whether you agree or disagree with me, I started the conversation, and it's really up to you to finish it. The Voice of Reason started the week off strong. I'll be back tomorrow with another head scratcher. We're going to get it, and I want y'all to be here with me. Hey, the Voice of Reason, I'll be back tomorrow.
With my daddy on my mind, like you gotta be kidding. How the hell you ain't here to see your prince do his thing? Sometimes I wanna drop a tip, but no emotions from a king. She'll be, so I be who I be, that's me. Has Weezy F, baby, and please say the motherfucking. So I be who I be, that's me, that's Weezy F, baby, and please say the motherfucking.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black and